We're joined today by Nicholas Mead, Corporate Development Manager at Southern Cross Gold. Nicholas, thanks for your time.
Thank you, David.
When people think of Southern Cross, they think of Southern Cross in the goldfields region of Western Australia. We're not talking that region, we're actually talking Victoria and just north of Melbourne.
Yes.
So Southern, for those who are at home, is for Great Southern Land or Southern Cross. Been listed 12 months. What was the rationale for spinning out of your Canadian parent?
Yeah, so we have spun out of a TSX company called Mawson Gold, and Mawson has got 1 million ounces of gold at around about 2.9 grams up in Finland, which is a late stage exploration pre-development project, which has been their flagship project for a long time. Mawson bought the assets that we've got in Victoria in 2020, early 2020, just before the pandemic. Michael Hudson, who's the managing director, actually lives in Melbourne, even though the Mawson project is up in Finland. The Canadian market, Mawson being a TSX company, the Canadian market really wasn't valuing this early stage exploration property down in Victoria compared to what they were looking at the Finnish assets were. And so therefore we decided that the best way to create value for both the Mawson shareholders, but then create a new company in Victoria, was to spin out these assets. And so that's what we did in May last year.
Spun the assets out and then hit the ground running.
Yes.
Drill, drill, drill. You
Yes.
look like you're a driller's favourite company.
No, very good, because we were able to actually continue our drilling through the pre-IPO stage. And so we were drilling, but we couldn't release, obviously. And so therefore, once we did the IPO, we were then able to start releasing the holes that we had drilled prior to the IPO, while still drilling at the same time. And so we had a very steady news flow going through in those early months, which really helped us keep the momentum going of people's attention on us. And very luckily, we were getting really great hits. We were getting a lot of 100-gram metre intercept hits from the very early days. Our second release after IPO, we announced 119 metres at 3.9 grams per tonne. And that was the moment when our share price went from 20 cents to about, I think it was about 62 or 63 in a day. Yeah.
When people think of Victoria and goldfields, they think of Ballarat, they think of Bendigo.
Yes.
They don't necessarily think 100 k's north of Melbourne. Why is this area providing such an opportunity?
We're located, so Melbourne's, divided into various zones: Stawell Zone, Bendigo Zone, Melbourne Zone. We're in the Melbourne Zone, which is essentially central Victoria, north of Melbourne. And the Melbourne Zone is a later stage gold event to what is considered traditional Victoria, which is the Bendigo zone. That's an Ordovician event. We are in the Melbourne Zone, Devonian, 70 million years later gold event than what is in Bendigo. So it's a different style of mineralisation. It's a more disseminated gold mineralisation. Bendigo is your more nuggety, refractory stuff. And so we have got a different style, higher grade at depth. And the most important thing within the Melbourne Zone is that two of the world's highest grade gold mines are in the Melbourne Zone within about 50 kilometres of us. That's the Fosterville mine, run by Agnico Eagle, which is the highest grade gold mine in the world, running at 20 grams per tonne head grade. And then we've got the Costerfield mine up the road. That's another Canadian company called Mandalay. They're producing at 12 grams per tonne. They have their high grade zones at depth. We're starting to hit 1,000 metres in our drilling, and we're also seeing that high grade zone as well.
Been a very busy 12 months.
Yes.
What does the next 12 months look like, and what should investors be focused on?
Our investors should be focused on our drilling and the results that we get from our drilling. We're into May now. We have a 30,000 metre drill program for 2023. We've done 7,000 already, more or less. So we've still got more than 20,000 metres of drilling to go. And so investors should be looking at how we progress in defining more of the mineralisation. So we're going to go to depth, and we're also going along strike from where we've been drilling. And there's a few gaps in amongst our holes, and so we're going to start to fill in those gaps as well, because what we want to do is demonstrate how big the potential of our Sunday Creek project is. And so that's what they should be looking for.
A Tier 1 project in a Tier 1 jurisdiction, strong news flow to come, exciting times ahead for Southern Cross and its shareholders. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, David.